Hola Spanish Pro, ¿cómo estás? Not long ago, I created a video called The 7 Deadly Sins of Listening Comprehension. In that video, I explained the worst mistakes you can make when trying to understand real speech. One of those mistakes is listening to slow Spanish. In this video, I'll show you why if you use slow Spanish, you will never be able to understand anyone who speaks to you at a normal pace of speech. Join me in this amazing video, and before you know it, you will be speaking and understanding Spanish like a pro. But before we get started, please like this video, subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell. That helps the channel grow and reach more people like you who may need and benefit a lot from this channel. And if listening comprehension is a problematic area for you, please check out my Patreon channel with a huge variety of activities to develop your vocabulary and comprehension skills fast. So now, without further ado, why slow Spanish to improve your listening skills is a terrible idea. Let's begin by seeing how the best language learners in the world acquire their vocabulary and listening skills fast.
That's what I said. He was like, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, what in the world? But don't do that here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Really? I thought the same thing. We think a lot alike, huh? Oh, that's crazy. Right.
Yeah, and tell me something. Did they show you how to build a snowman? Yeah? And did they give you a hat to put on the snowman? Was it your hat? And what did they make the eyes out of?
How about if we change your diaper? Because changing your diaper always promotes a good poop. Yeah. 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 Oh, you're so precious. Yeah.
Girl, guess what? I found some SeaWorld tickets for free for military, girl. We're gonna have to go. Yeah, we're gonna have to go. Yeah, girl, they got water, they got animals. Girl, yes. I'm excited, girl. Yes, he did, girl.
Do you notice any slow language there? I didn't. It's true that parents may make silly or funny voices at times, but they speak naturally, which is fast for a newbie. And babies are newbies in life as well. But it's through exposure to natural language that babies become language learning machines really fast. However, when it comes to listening comprehension programs, what we see is rather different, rather slow. Introducing the king of slow Spanish websites, News in Slow Spanish. Let me show you this in action by analyzing a little segment from News in Slow Spanish. newsinslowspanish.com. And here we have different options: news beginner, news intermediate, advanced. We're going to start with the beginner, news beginner, and basically let's see this, for example, episode 59.
Es miércoles 30 de marzo de 2022. Bienvenidos a un nuevo episodio de nuestro programa semanal News in Slow Spanish para principiantes. Soy Gonzalo. Comenzamos el programa. Hablaremos sobre una nueva idea que surgió de la cumbre de la OTAN la semana pasada. ¿Se debería expulsar a Rusia del G20?
Oh man, that was intense. Took forever to read these two little paragraphs. Now, it may have been very clear, extremely clear, everyone's happy, Hakuna Matata, we can understand that, oh yeah, the reality is that no one will ever talk to you like that. As a native speaker, any native speaker listening to this will fall asleep. If you're telling me that you are going there for the vocabulary itself, I would say, well, that's a good website. But the problem is in the name. The name says it all. News in slow Spanish. And I'm sure that 99.99% of the people that use this website actually go for that, for the slow Spanish. The problem is that people don't speak like that. And even if you speed up the audio, that's one of the options over here, even if you put it twice as fast as the speed that they offer here, that's still not natural language. And I'm going to show you why.
La maldición del español lento.
Es miércoles 30 de marzo de 2022. Bienvenidos a un nuevo episodio de nuestro programa semanal, News in Slow Spanish para principiantes. Soy Gonzalo. Comenzamos el programa. Hablaremos sobre una nueva idea que surgió de la cumbre de la OTAN la semana pasada. ¿Se debería expulsar a Rusia del G20? The first difference that is very obvious between slow Spanish and real Spanish is that slow Spanish took us like 48 seconds to say this, whereas real Spanish took us only 20 seconds. That means that there's a huge difference in the speed. Real Spanish is 235% faster, or approximately that, not exactly that, in this particular case. Even if I didn't read this fast, really, I read it as any native speaker would say it, you can see that this is way faster than what slow Spanish offers. Now, the problem with this is that it may seem that everyone is speaking at a brutally fast pace of speech, but actually that's not the case. People speak the way they do in real life. The main problem is that these materials, like News in Slow Spanish, they try to simplify the materials, they try to slow down the materials to make them easier for you. To me, that's completely wrong. That's the wrong strategy. We are not supposed to simplify the materials. We are supposed to train learners to actually understand the real thing. And the real thing is way faster than slow Spanish, or these slow varieties of Spanish that actually no one uses. But that's not the main problem. There's something even worse. Let's have a look at this. One of the main problems that students have when they have to recognize real Spanish is their inability to decode words. This is something that happens a lot, happens all the time. People that actually know the words that are being said, they know them perfectly. The vocabulary is not even a challenge for them based on what they are saying. Sometimes even very simple phrases, but they cannot recognize what the people are telling them. They cannot recognize where a word begins and the next one ends, and they cannot understand a message that when they read it, if they see the words, they say, oh, this is a piece of cake. How couldn't I get it? Well, their training is working against them. Let me show you. Now we're going to analyze a little paragraph from this News in Slow Spanish, and we're going to compare slow Spanish versus real Spanish. What you can see here, here we have the sound waves of slow Spanish and real Spanish.
Comenzamos el programa.
And the first thing you can see is that in slow Spanish, we have unnecessary pauses. Notice that the words are said individually. Comenzamos, pause, el programa. Two pauses.
Comenzamos el programa. Comenzamos el programa.
But in real Spanish, if you pay attention to this, you notice that there are no pauses in between words. Comenzamos el programa. Comenzamos el programa. Notice how the words connect. The words are linked in connected speech. So, whereas here we have like two pauses.
Comenzamos
Pause.
el pause programa. Comenzamos el programa.
Notice that real Spanish, this is continuous. It's just keeps going. Comenzamos el programa. Comenzamos el programa. This is a huge problem because students are being trained to expect pauses when people talk, and this does not happen in real life. But this will become even more evident when we analyze a longer sentence. Now notice here how the speaker is making all of these unreal, unnecessary pauses, is speaking by using broken, choppy speech. No Spanish speaker will ever say this. Watch movies, watch a YouTube video. Listen to the way people talk, and you will notice that no one ever uses this. No one ever speaks like that. So this is broken, choppy speech, which shows easy identifiable individual words. That's not real language. It's kind of like trying to drive a car. You have a long road, and imagine every 2 seconds you're stopping, you're braking. And you drive a little bit and you brake. And you're trying to drive a little bit and you brake. That's not, you will not get anywhere. And imagine the person who is with you if you're driving that way. The person will go nuts. Well, the same happens when you try to talk to someone or someone talks to you like that. That's not real. So here we have another way of seeing this visually. Notice that in the broken, choppy speech of unreal Spanish, you have all of these pauses, whereas in the real version of this, you only have 2 pauses in the whole structure, in the whole sentence, the whole paragraph. You have only 2 pauses. Compared to how many here? 1, 2, 3. I mean, I lost count. That's insane. As you can see, despite your best efforts and expensive memberships, using slow materials will ruin your chances of ever being able to understand real people. But there's hope. By changing your strategy, you can start to develop your listening skills fast. If you feel you need to you are absolutely forced to use slow Spanish because you cannot get it otherwise, here's a tip you can use and it won't cost you a dime. Go to YouTube and slow down the speed of the video. The advantage of doing this compared to using slow Spanish and similar websites is that the blends in connected speech are still there. True, it's going to be a little bit slower and naturally slower maybe, but you won't have unnecessary pauses. That's a big thing. All it may take for you is just to play the audio a few times slower and then listen to it a few times at a normal pace of speech. Always default back to real speech. Remember that the key is not to simplify the materials that you use, but actually to train you to understand the real thing. And in addition to that, whenever possible, use learning materials that do not slow down the way people talk. If you need materials like that, I have hundreds of audios and videos like that at www.spanishlikeapro.com. For less than the price of a coffee, you can get tons of quality materials for just a whole month. It helps my channel grow, it helps me create more materials like this, and it can help you get instant access to quality materials that can definitely take your Spanish to the next level. If you go to my website, spanishlikeapro.com, you will find a mini course that I created specifically on word blends, how the words link together in fast connected speech. That's something that I would really encourage you to do. With very simple lessons and practical applications, you can see all of these processes in action. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao.